Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Bible teaching snippet of the day. Well, today I'm going to go ahead and step back into my little hot topic that I'm on, and I'm talking about the lie that we've been taught to believe about hell being an ongoing, conscious place of torment. Okay, this is a Roman Catholic doctrine that has been put into our American churches. I want to stop and say this because I don't think people understand, and because I didn't. Okay, I'm not judging anybody. This has just been learning for me as well. There are, in the beginning, there was two main sects of Christianity. You have the Eastern Orthodox Church, who are, their native language is Greek. All they've ever read and understood was the Greek manuscripts. Okay, this is a good part for me to stop and say. They never varied off of the Greek Septuagint as their Old Testament. Okay, and then the other part of Christianity was the Western Orthodox Church, which is now known as the Roman Catholic Church. So you had the Eastern and Western. Now, the Eastern Orthodox Church has never changed their doctrine and ever taught that there is a place called hell, a place of eternal conscious torment and punishment. The Roman Catholic Church, which is the Western Church, the Latin-speaking church, did not believe or teach that till the 5th century. This is after the Latin Vulgate was translated by St. Jerome, one-man translation. He put in his Bible the word infernus, which we would use in the English as the word hell. He had it in his Bible 110 times. Now, these two words also were changed in his translation, okay? Aion and aionios. Prior to the Latin Vulgate, it did not mean everlasting or eternal. What it meant was that it denoted a limited duration. This man wrote a book about this right here, Reverend John Wesley Hanson. Okay, so when St. Jerome did his translation of the Latin Vulgate, he put in some words that have given us some hell doctrines that the Greek-speaking Eastern Orthodox Church has never taught and never believed. Why? Because they're still reading their Greek Bibles that they've had since Jesus was here. We're reading a downline version of the Latin Vulgate. So we're believing and reading a Roman Catholic doctrine in our Bibles. The Latin Vulgate gave birth to the Bishop's Bible. And just hop online. You can check out everything I'm teaching you guys, okay? Type in 15 rules of translation for the King James Bible, and you will see that one of the 15 rules given by King James himself was that the translators would use the Bishop's Bible as their source document to translate from. And the Bishop's Bible is a direct translation of the Latin Vulgate. Whose Bible do you think you're reading if it came from the Latin Vulgate? The Latin Vulgate was written by one man, again, one more time, St. Jerome. He started in 380 AD, finished 405 AD. He was commissioned by the Western Orthodox Church, which we call today the Roman Catholic Church. He was commissioned by them to come up with one official Bible for the Catholic Church, okay? And he did, but he did not use the Greek Septuagint, and you can do that. I can teach on that. He used one set of incomplete Hebrew manuscripts in Bethlehem, and he added his own things in, okay? Now, so when we take our American Bibles and read them, we are actually reading translations that was taken from the Latin Vulgate, okay? It's very important that we know this, okay? So let me say it one more time, and maybe a little bit different this time, okay? We all know that the Roman Catholic Church has a lot of false doctrines, okay? Going in a box, confessing to a priest so he can tell you to say 3 or 5 Hail Marys, We know that's not biblical, right? We also know that we're not supposed to pray to Mary or any other dead saints. Jesus said to pray to the Father in His name. Okay, that's just two that stand out. What I want us to understand today is that we in America are so arrogant that we think that we have all the answers and we know everything. And we're reading a Roman Catholic Bible translation that's got Greek words changed into Latin to make you believe what the Roman Catholic Church wants you to believe. We've had Bibles now, 400 years. The King James 1611, 400 years. And we went from Greek and Hebrew to Latin, and then Latin to English. And the Greek Orthodox Church, who's never believed any of this junk we believe in America, is reading the same Bible they've read for 2,000 years and have never believed in the false doctrine of hell. Okay, I'm going to say this. I would suggest anybody that really wants to know truth and really wants to go deeper, get this book. It's called The Jerome Conspiracy by Michael Wood. I would suggest you read that. It's an excellent, and he's got all of this stuff in the back, all of his sources, and I've checked those out, and he is indeed, I've verified this, and this is a very accurate book. So, let me go ahead. I'm going to talk about this aion and aionios one more time today. Because I know I'm being called a heretic and a false teacher, which is kind of awesome. Did you know when you start teaching outside of what you've been given permission to teach, people are going to say that. It's just part of how the American church is, because we have been so indoctrinated to believe the things that we believe. If we disagree, it's just like we're not even saved anymore, right? I went in and I printed off of BibleTools.org right here. Okay, I want you to see that. And here it is, Strong's 165. It's used 128 times, the word aion. Okay, now I'm going to show you what the word aion means, okay? Right here, 165, what does that say? Aion, a space of time and age, okay? A space of time and age. This does not say that it is forever or everlasting. It says an age or a space of time. I'm going to read to you, okay, down here, their example to try to help it come together for you today. But before I do, I'm going to read it one more time. 165 aion. It is a noun. Properly an age, an era, like an era, E-R-A, era, a time, or a time span. Now here we go. An example. Christians today live in the newer age of the covenant, the time period called the New Testament. Did you get that? Okay, see how that makes sense. Christians today live in the newer, not ever before time ever began, all the way through till time never ever ends. No, we are living in a newer age of the covenant, the time period called the New Testament, because we have an Old Testament, a different age. I pray that's helping you a little. Okay, so in all of this, I have highlighted, because this is what gets a little confusing, okay? When you pull up this and you print off all of the different times the word aion is used, it's 128 times. What you're going to find is that 49 times it's been translated the world. Now tell me something. How can one word aion mean forever and also mean the world? Those are two completely things. Think about that. Okay. I want to show you some examples of how the King James used the word world here for aion. Okay, in Matthew 12:32 it says, it's talking about the unforgivable sin. Remember I said I wanted to loop back around and teach you something else about it. I'm touching on it today. All sins will be forgiven him, but the sin of the unpardonable sin of blasphemy will be forgiven him neither in this world and neither in, so see that word, neither in this world. That's what the King James says. Let me read it to you in the Young's Literal, though. It says, and whoever may speak a word against the Son of Man shall be forgiven to him. But whoever may speak against the Holy Spirit, it shall not be forgiven him, neither in this age, not in this world, neither in this age, nor in that which one is coming. Now, I want you to think about what makes more sense. Neither in this world, or does it make more sense to say it's not forgiven him in this particular age? See how much difference it is. I'm going to read to you in Matthew 13:22 now. Now, the King James uses the word world here. This is the word aion again, which means an age, a set period of time, a span of time. Here's the King James. And the care of this world. Okay, let me read it to you in Matthew 13:22, Young's Literal. And that sown toward the thorns, this is he who is hearing the word, and the anxiety of this age. And sometimes our newer translations say, and the anxiety of this time. What it's talking about is in this time age where there's so much stress on people. Okay, let me read it again. And the one who is hearing the word, the anxiety of this age and the deceitfulness of the riches do choke the word, and it becomes unfruitful. See, the word world doesn't really fit there. The age is what fits there. Let me read you one more. I want to do Mark chapter 10, verse 30. Let's see if I mark this. And this says, and in the world to come, eternal life. And that would be in the King James. Now I'm going to read it to you in the Young's Literal. Mark chapter 10, verse 30. Who may not receive 100-fold now in this time, houses and brothers and sisters and mothers and children and fields, with persecutions, and in the age that is coming, life, age, during. So see, they don't use in the Young's the word world, because guys, the word world has absolutely nothing to do with the word aion. It has nothing to do with the word aion. The word aion means for a period of time or for an age. Okay, let me keep going. I want to show you, now here, the word, there is another word in our Bibles that is translated world, okay? And it is a correct translation. It's the word cosmos. Cosmos. It's 2889, okay? And that word is actually used 186 times, okay? And I don't know why the translators threw the word world in with aion when aion has nothing to do with the word world, and we have a clear Greek word for the word world. But they chose to mix things up. Okay, now, here's the next one I'm going to talk about. Well, I tell you what, I probably need to get off of here today. Now, I want to talk to you a little about the New Testament translation that I have. I really like this because what he's done is these words I've talked about today, where it talks about aion and aionios, eternal and everlasting, the word hell. He's put all of that back into the original Greek rendering and broke free of the Latin Vulgate, mixing it all up to form a certain doctrine that the Catholic Church was trying to push on people, okay? So I would highly recommend that if you want a really good Bible that's accurate to the Greek translation, this is just the New Testament, it's about $25, but it's a very, very good Bible, and it's also got notes and stuff in it to explain to you why the words that he selected are different than many of our American Bibles. Now, I'd also, again, I would say that if you want a really good to understand how this comes together, I would highly recommend reading this book. Now, tomorrow I'm going to go again, and I'm going to talk a little bit about aionios tomorrow, and that's the adjective. Today I talked about aion being a noun, okay? That's a noun. Tomorrow I'm going to talk to you about aionios, and that is the adjective, and it's been translated as eternal or everlasting. We're going to pick up on that tomorrow, and maybe I can integrate in that the word punishment. I want to start talking about that. where we're believing that there is an eternal punishment. I want to correct that through these teachings. I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.